Chosen one, lock your attention on my voice right now. I know exactly what the last few months have felt like for you. You have been waiting in complete silence. The atmosphere in your room feels incredibly heavy, and every single time you ask for a sign, it feels like heaven has completely closed its doors on you. You are exhausted. You are not imagining this strange quiet. You are not losing your mind. The people around you do not understand the weight you carry. They tell you to just move on. They tell you to stop hoping for something so impossible, but they cannot feel the quiet ache pulling at your spirit late at night while you sit alone in the dark. You are carrying a burden that was never meant to be explained to them. The enemy has been working overtime in your life for one specific reason. He wants you to believe your prayers were ignored. He wants you to look at the empty space and feel foolish. But he is absolutely terrified because he knows exactly what will happen to his plans the moment you finally wake up and understand the truth. You did not find this message by accident today. The Holy Spirit brought you here. This is a divine appointment that was scheduled before you were even born. In the next few minutes, I am going to reveal exactly why your prayers have seemed unanswered for so long. I will expose the hidden blueprint that your faith has been quietly constructing behind the scenes. And at the very end, I will give you the specific declaration that finally unlocks the door. Do not click away from this message. Do not let the distraction win right now. If you allow the distraction to win and leave before the end, you are walking away from the exact breakthrough you have been crying out for. Your future is hiding in the words I am about to speak. Stay with me until the very last sentence. We need to look closely at what is really happening in the unseen realm. But let me reframe your entire reality right now. You have been calling your life a failure. You think the silence means you are completely alone. But that isolation was never a punishment at all. It was a divine preparation. God did not abandon you, but he removed the distracting noise so he could finally do the heavy work. For so long you have been taught a broken version of faith. You were told that prayer is a simple transaction. You ask for a blessing and heaven immediately drops it. And when that did not happen, you started to deeply question your own worth and wondered if your faith was simply too weak. But you must understand that the Creator does not operate a cheap vending machine. Your prayers were never just simple requests. They were spiritual architecture. Every time you fell to your knees, you were not just begging for a way out. You were gathering precious materials. Every time you whispered a prayer in the night, you were pouring spiritual concrete into the unseen realm, and you were actively shaping your future. You are not waiting for a miracle. You are literally building it with your words. Look at the truth written in the book of Hebrews, chapter 11, verse 3. It says that the worlds were framed by the powerful word of God. It tells us that the unseen creates the seen. This is the exact spiritual law operating in your life right now. And your spoken faith is framing a reality that does not exist in the physical world yet. You are an architect. Think about how a massive skyscraper is built. The builders do not start with glass and steel. They spend months digging deep into the dark dirt. They pour massive amounts of concrete where nobody can see anything. If you walk past the construction site, it looks like an empty pit, and it seems like absolutely nothing is happening at all. But the master builder knows the absolute truth. The higher the building is meant to go, the deeper the foundation must be dug into the dark earth. Your life is that exact construction site right now. The profound silence you are experiencing is the sound of heaven digging deep into your spirit. God is deliberately excavating all of your hidden weak spots because he knows your new foundation must be able to hold incredible weight. The enemy wants you to stare at the empty dirt and cry. He points at the silence and whispers that you are forgotten, and he desperately needs you to stop praying before the foundation is finished. Because he knows your continued prayers are adding steel reinforcement to a blessing that will eventually crush his head. If you stop speaking the words, the construction project violently stops. You must stop crying over the lack of visible evidence. The absence of a visible roof does not mean the house is abandoned. The spiritual realm is vibrating with the heavy machinery of your consistent faith, and you have been building a massive fortress while you thought you were just surviving a brutal storm. Every tear you cried was actually watering the roots of your destiny, and that is the profound reason this season happened. God had to take you into the quiet to build something unbreakable. That is the first thing I promised to reveal to you today. But there is something hiding underneath this truth that goes even deeper, and once that clicks into place, your entire perspective will permanently shift. We need to look closely at who you really are. You think you are forgotten, you work hard every day, but nobody notices your effort. The darkness feels heavy around you, and you wonder if your dreams will ever come true. It is easy to lose hope when you are trapped in a quiet place where no one can see your pain. But you must remember that great trees grow their deepest roots in the dark soil before they ever reach toward the sun. Joseph spent years in an Egyptian prison for a crime he did not commit. He was completely cut off from his family, and his bright future looked like a broken promise. Yet he did not stop moving. He did not give up on his faith, because he knew that the silence of God is never the absence of God. The prison walls were thick and cold. Joseph had every reason to complain or become bitter, but he chose to serve right where he was. He watched the other prisoners and helped them with their daily chores. He became so reliable that the chief jailer put him in charge of all the work. Even in the deepest pit, his character began to shine like a small light in the night. True preparation does not happen on a big stage with thousands of people clapping for you. It happens when you are alone in a room, working on your skills when nobody is watching. You are building your strength right now, and this quiet time is actually your greatest advantage. Think about the time you waste wishing for an easier life. You want the reward without the long struggle, but that is not how real growth works. Joseph had to learn how to manage a prison before he could ever manage an entire nation. Every single day in that dark place taught him how to handle pressure and deal with difficult people. If he had escaped early, he would have missed the essential lessons that made him strong enough to survive the future. Your current struggle is not a punishment. It is a severe test to see if you can handle the massive blessing that is coming your way very soon. You must stop fighting the process and start embracing the hard work. The baker and the cupbearer arrived in the prison with heavy hearts. Joseph noticed their sad faces and asked them what was wrong. He did not ignore their pain just because his own life was falling apart. They told him about their confusing dreams, and Joseph immediately offered to interpret them. He gave credit to God and spoke the absolute truth without any fear. He helped them even though he knew he might stay behind in the dark forever. When you focus on helping others, your own burdens suddenly feel much lighter. You find your true purpose when you stop looking at your own problems and start serving the people around you. The cupbearer was restored to his high position just as Joseph predicted. Joseph asked the man to remember him, but the cupbearer forgot all about him for 2 whole years. Imagine the deep disappointment that Joseph felt every single morning when the prison doors stayed shut. 2 years is 730 days of absolute silence and waiting. You might feel like you have been waiting for 2 years or even longer for your big break to arrive. The people who promised to help you have forgotten your name, and you feel completely abandoned. But human memory is weak, while the timing of heaven is always perfect. Your isolation is actually a form of protection from the noise of the world. If you become famous too fast, your character will crack under the pressure of the spotlight. You need this quiet time to fix your flaws and build a foundation that can never be shaken by any storm. Joseph was being refined like pure gold in a hot furnace. He lost his freedom, but he gained an unbreakable spirit that could handle ultimate power. Stop looking at your watch and start looking at your heart, because the lesson is more important than the destination. You are being prepared for something much bigger than your current imagination can see. When the moment is right, everything will change in a single day. Pharaoh will have a dream that no one else can understand, and the cupbearer will suddenly remember the young Hebrew man in the prison. You will be called out of the dark, and you must be ready to step up without any hesitation. If you spend your quiet time complaining, you will fail the test when your name is finally called. Work hard in the shadow so you can stand firm in the light. Keep your faith strong, keep your hands busy, and trust that the darkness is just the womb of your destiny. You expect to see instant results because the modern world has made you impatient. You want the fitness after one workout, and you want the wealth after one small investment. When nothing changes after a week of hard work, you assume that your effort is completely wasted. You look at your bank account or your reflection in the mirror, and you feel a deep sense of failure. But you are looking at the world through a very shallow lens. Real change is occurring beneath the surface where your human eyes cannot perceive the movement. Think about a farmer who plants a tiny seed in the rich earth during the spring season. He does not dig up the seed every single morning to check if it is growing into a tall tree. If he did that, he would destroy the delicate life before it even had a chance to start. He waters the soil every day, removes the weeds, and waits with absolute patience. For weeks, the field looks completely empty, and there is no visible sign of progress at all. A foolish neighbor might laugh at him and say that he is wasting his precious time and energy. But the farmer knows that deep roots are growing downward into the dark ground to support the heavy fruit that will come later. You must adopt the mindset of the patient farmer if you want to build a lasting legacy. Your life operates under the exact same natural law of compounding growth. Every positive action you take is a tiny drop of water on a hidden seed. You cannot see the root system forming, but it is becoming stronger with every single correct choice you make. When you read a good book, you do not instantly become a wise person. When you save $20, you do not instantly become a millionaire. But these tiny actions accumulate over hundreds of days until they create an unstoppable force. Stop demanding immediate proof from a process that requires deep time to mature. You are building something heavy, and a heavy structure requires a massive foundation. Consider the strange phenomenon of the Chinese bamboo tree. After the seed is planted, you must water and fertilize it every single day for 4 whole years. During those 48 months, you see absolutely nothing except a tiny green bulb breaking through the dirt. It looks like a complete failure, and anyone without faith would abandon the field in disappointment. Then, in the 5th year, something truly miraculous happens. The bamboo tree suddenly shoots up into the sky, growing 80 feet tall in less than 6 weeks. Did the tree grow 80 feet in 6 weeks? Or did it take 5 years of quiet cultivation? The answer is obvious to anyone who understands the principle of hidden preparation. The bamboo tree was spending 4 years developing a massive underground root system that could support its sudden height. If it had grown fast without those deep roots, the first strong wind would have snapped it in half. Your current phase of no results is your 4-year period of developing your roots. God is not denying your progress, but He is delaying your visibility to protect you from a sudden collapse. You need the strength to handle the heavy blessings that are coming into your life very soon. When you see a successful person, you only witness their sudden 6-week growth spurt. You do not see the years of tears, loneliness, and heavy doubt that happened in the dark. You assume they are lucky or talented, but they simply survived the silent phase that causes most people to quit. If you give up now because you cannot see the results, you are quitting right before your 5th year begins. You are throwing away all the accumulated energy that is about to burst through the surface. Push through the invisible phase with total confidence because your breakthrough is closer than it has ever been. Change your standard of measurement from visual results to internal discipline. Ask yourself if you did the work today, not if the world rewarded you for it. If you kept your word and put in the hours, you won the day regardless of what the external environment looks like. The results are inevitable when the daily actions are consistent and correct. Trust the hidden law of growth, protect your seed from the weeds of doubt, and let your roots grow deep into the silence. Your season of visible abundance is coming, and it will be greater than anything you have ever experienced. You cannot build a physical house out of thin air. You need concrete, wood, and strong iron bars to create a structure that can withstand the storm. In the exact same way, you cannot build a great life out of doubt, hesitation, and constant fear. Faith is not just a pleasant emotion or a passive wish that things will get better in the future. Faith is the actual substance of things you hope for, and it serves as the invisible raw material for your reality. Every single thought you think releases a specific vibrational frequency into the universe. When you live in a state of absolute certainty, you are sending out a magnetic signal that pulls your destiny toward you. Think of your mind as a highly advanced manufacturing plant. The raw materials you feed into this factory will determine the exact quality of the final product. If you feed it raw materials of worry, lack, and scarcity, the machine will naturally produce a life of poverty and failure. You are using your creative energy to build a prison for yourself instead of a palace. You must change the quality of your mental materials before you can ever hope to change your external circumstances. Speak about your future with absolute authority and conviction, even when your current environment looks completely broken. Your words are the blueprints, and your faith is the concrete. The universe operates under strict mathematical laws of frequency and resonance. You can never attract a high-frequency life if you choose to remain in a low-frequency state of mind. If you want abundance, you must vibrate at the level of abundance right now, long before the first dollar arrives in your bank account. If you wait for the money to appear before you feel rich, you will be waiting for the rest of your miserable life. This is the great secret that the most successful people in human history have always understood. They felt the victory in their bones when they were still sleeping on a cold floor in total poverty. When you pray or visualize your goals, do not beg as if you are a helpless victim. Begging is a low-frequency action that only confirms your current state of lack and limitation. Instead, you must give thanks for the blessing as if it has already been delivered to your front door. This powerful shift in perspective alters your internal chemistry and raises your frequency to match your desired outcome. You become a perfect match for the opportunities, people, and resources that you need to succeed. The material world has no choice but to bend and conform to the intense pressure of your unwavering belief. Imagine a bridge that spans across a massive canyon. The engineers do not just hope the bridge will stay up when the heavy trucks drive over it. They calculate the exact tension, the weight of the steel, and the strength of the deep foundations. Your faith must be engineered with that same level of precise scientific certainty. It cannot be a weak emotion that changes every time the weather gets bad or your friends criticize your big dreams. You must lock your mind onto your vision with an iron will that absolutely refuses to entertain a single thought of defeat. You are the master builder of your own life. Every single obstacle you encounter is just an opportunity to test the strength of your building materials. If a small setback causes you to doubt your entire future, it means your faith was made of cheap plastic instead of solid stone. Welcome the trials because they reveal the hidden cracks in your foundation so you can repair them before the real weight arrives. Joseph did not lose his faith when he was thrown into the dark Egyptian prison. He used his time in the shadow to strengthen his connection to the highest frequency of all. He knew the prison was just a temporary storage room for his destiny. Stop looking at what you see with your physical eyes and start trusting what you see with your spirit. The physical world is just a delayed reflection of your past thoughts and beliefs. If you want a new reflection, you must change the image that you are projecting from the inside out. Stand firm in your vision, refuse to compromise with mediocrity, and keep your frequency locked on absolute victory. You have all the raw materials you need right inside your mind to build a life that will echo through eternity. Start building your masterpiece today with the solid blocks of unbreakable faith. You walk past a construction site in the center of a busy city every single day. For 6 long months, all you see is a massive hole in the ground filled with dirty water, mud, and heavy machines. There are no walls, no windows, and no beautiful glass towers reaching up into the blue sky. It looks like a complete mess, and an ignorant person might think that the workers are achieving absolutely nothing. They are spending millions of dollars and thousands of hours just digging deeper into the dark earth. But if you talk to the chief engineer, he will look at you with a confident smile and tell you that everything is going perfectly according to the plan. They are digging the foundation because you cannot build a 100-story skyscraper on top of bare grass. The higher you want to climb into the light, the deeper you must dig into the dark soil. If you try to build a massive tower without a deep foundation, the structure will collapse into a pile of rubble the moment the first gentle wind blows against it. This is exactly why you do not see any visible results in your personal life right now. You are not failing, and your efforts are not being wasted by the universe. You are simply in the critical phase of pouring the heavy concrete foundation for your future success. The world only celebrates the day the ribbon is cut and the grand building opens its doors to the public. Nobody cares about the silent months spent digging in the mud or the workers who sweated in the dark hole to lay the iron rods. In the same way, people will only cheer for you when you finally achieve your massive goals and step into the bright spotlight. They will call you an overnight success, and they will assume that you just got lucky. They have no idea about the invisible foundation that you are building right now through your tears, loneliness, and daily discipline. Do not look for their approval during the digging phase. Think about the massive weight that your future life will require you to hold. If you want to manage a business worth millions of dollars, you must first develop the mental strength to handle intense financial stress without breaking down. If you want a beautiful and lasting marriage, you must first build a foundation of deep patience, integrity, and self-control within your own heart. If God gave you the big reward today without the proper foundation, the sudden weight of the blessing would completely crush your character. The delay you are experiencing is actually an act of extreme mercy to ensure your long-term survival. Every single time you choose to wake up early and work on your goals, you are tying another heavy iron rod into your foundation. Every time you resist a cheap temptation or keep your mouth shut during an argument, you are pouring another bucket of solid concrete. These actions do not look impressive to the outside world, and your friends might think you are living a boring life. They are out partying and enjoying the surface pleasures while you are stuck in the mud of self-improvement. Let them laugh at your empty field because they do not know what kind of palace you are preparing to build. A cheap house made of wood can be built in less than 2 weeks, but it will easily burn down or blow away when a major storm arrives. A royal palace made of thick stone takes years of silent and painful labor before it ever rises above the security wall. Stop comparing your slow progress to the quick and shallow successes of the people around you on social media. They are building flimsy wooden shacks that will fall apart at the first sign of real trouble. You are building an unbreakable fortress that will protect your family and inspire your community for generations to come. Embrace the mud, love the heavy labor, and respect the silent process of the deep foundation. When the digging is finally complete, the walls of your destiny will rise faster than anyone ever thought possible. You will step into your greatness with a solid rock beneath your feet that can never be shaken by any financial crisis or personal betrayal. Trust the blueprint that has been drawn for your life by the ultimate architect of the universe. Keep your head down, keep your shovel busy, and know with absolute certainty that your beautiful tower is coming. The loudest voice you will ever hear does not come from your critics or the people who want to see you fail. The most dangerous voice is the quiet whisper that echoes inside your own mind when you are completely alone in the dark. It is the voice of your own doubt, asking you if you are truly good enough to achieve your massive dreams. It reminds you of every single mistake you made in your past and tells you that you are just a foolish pretender. This internal resistance is a hidden block that paralyzes your potential and keeps you trapped in a life of mediocrity. You must learn how to confront this mental enemy with absolute force if you want to break free. When Joseph was sitting on the cold floor of that Egyptian prison, he had to fight this exact same internal battle every single night. The enemy in his mind would whisper that his teenage dreams of greatness were just the wild illusions of an arrogant boy. It would tell him that his own brothers hated him enough to sell him into slavery, and that God had completely abandoned him to rot. If Joseph had accepted those dark thoughts as the absolute truth, he would have died an unknown prisoner in that foreign land. But he chose to guard his mind with an iron shield of faith and refused to let the poison of doubt settle into his heart. You are facing the exact same choice today with your own hidden blocks and silent fears. When the voice tells you that you do not have enough money, talent, or experience, you must answer it with immediate action instead of passive fear. Doubt cannot survive in an environment of intense movement and absolute focus. If you sit still and do nothing, the negative thoughts will grow like wild weeds until they completely choke out your vision. You must pick up your tools and do the heavy work even when your hands are shaking and your heart is filled with deep anxiety. The action itself is the ultimate cure for your fear. Think about the people who gave up on their dreams simply because they believed the lies of their own internal critics. They had incredible talent and beautiful visions, but they allowed a single wave of doubt to wash away their entire future. They chose the safety of a boring life because they were too afraid to face the painful possibility of failure. Do not let your story end in that same tragic way. Your doubt is not a sign that you are weak or that your goals are impossible to reach. It is actually a clear signal that you are pushing against your current limits and expanding your territory. The pain of doubt is a natural part of the human growth process, just like the physical soreness you feel after a heavy workout at the gym. It proves that you are breaking down your old self so you can build a much stronger version that can handle the future. When the hidden blocks rise up to stop you, look them directly in the eye and remember who you are. You are a child of the ultimate creator, and you have been given an unbreakable spirit that can conquer any obstacle on this earth. Stop treating your negative emotions like absolute facts and start seeing them as weak illusions. The world will try to validate your doubts by pointing at your current lack of visible success or your broken bank account. Your friends might tell you to be realistic and choose a safer path that does not require so much sacrifice and lonely labor. But real leaders never base their internal certainty on external evidence. They create the evidence through the sheer power of their unwavering belief and their relentless daily discipline. Let the whole world doubt your vision, but never commit the ultimate treason of doubting yourself for a single second. Your belief is your only currency. Lock your mind onto your destination and shut out all the negative noise from the outside world and the inside corners of your brain. Every single day you push through the doubt, you are winning a massive spiritual victory that strengthens your character foundation. The dark thoughts will eventually lose their power over you when they see that you refuse to slow down or stop moving. Stand firm in your purpose, embrace the discomfort of the unknown, and trust that you are being led toward a glorious victory. You are far stronger than the voices in your head. Silence is not a sign of weakness, and it is not a blank space where nothing exists. Silence is an intense reservoir of raw power that most people throw away because they are too afraid to sit with their own thoughts. In our modern world, everyone is desperately screaming for attention, validation, and likes on a digital screen. They talk constantly about their big plans, their shallow goals, and their daily opinions because they need the world to notice them. But the truly dangerous individuals are the ones who can walk through the shadows in absolute silence without needing anyone to clap for them. They do not boast, they do not brag, and they never reveal their next move until the work is completely done. When you learn how to activate the power of silence, you stop leaking your valuable creative energy into the external environment. Every time you tell someone about your big dreams before they are real, you experience a cheap psychological reward that makes you lazy. Your brain mistakes the talking for the actual achieving, and you lose the necessary hunger to do the heavy labor. This is why so many people have grand ideas, but never build anything of lasting value in their entire lives. You must learn to lock your mouth shut and let the pressure build up inside your soul like a steam engine. Use that compressed energy to fuel your daily discipline instead of wasting it on empty words. Think about a predator hunting its prey in the deep tall grass of the African savanna. It does not growl, it does not make a loud noise, and it never announces its presence to the world. It moves with absolute stealth and perfect control, blending into the shadows until the exact moment of the final strike. Your execution of your goals must possess that same level of quiet and lethal precision. Let your competitors talk about their strategy while you are quietly studying the market and refining your skills. Let them think you are sleeping or that you have given up entirely, because their ignorance is your ultimate competitive advantage. The great spiritual masters, inventors, and leaders throughout human history always sought out the deep quiet of isolation to activate their genius. They knew that you cannot hear the voice of inspiration when you are constantly surrounded by the loud noise of the crowd. In the silence, you can finally hear the true frequency of your own soul and receive the blueprints for your destiny. You find answers to your most difficult problems when you stop looking outside and start listening to the stillness within. Silence clears away the cheap static of public opinion and leaves you with nothing but pure, absolute truth. Joseph did not spend his long years in the Egyptian prison trying to write letters to the Pharaoh to prove his innocence. He did not yell at the guardrails or complain to the other prisoners about how unfair his life had become. He embraced the heavy silence of the pit and allowed it to strip away every single ounce of pride and vanity from his character. He became a quiet observer of human nature, a master of emotional control, and a man of deep internal gravity. When he finally stood before the king of Egypt, his silent presence carried more weight than all the loud magicians and wise advisors combined. Your current period of isolation is not a prison sentence unless you choose to view it through a negative lens. It is your private training ground where you are being initiated into a higher level of spiritual authority and power. Stop trying to force people to see you. Stop trying to explain your choices to friends who do not understand. And stop defending your vision to critics. The results you produce in the future will do all the talking for you, and the output will be so loud that no one will ever doubt your name again. Your silence today is the ultimate setup for your massive announcement tomorrow. Guard your peace with an iron fist and refuse to let the chaotic noise of society disrupt your internal alignment. Spend time alone every single day. Look into the mirror and connect with the silent power that is waiting to be unleashed from within your spirit. The world belongs to those who can master their own minds in the quiet spaces where no one else can enter. Keep your secrets close, keep your focus sharp, and let the quiet fire burn deep in your chest until the day you set the entire world ablaze with your victory. Trust the silence, because it is the birthplace of your greatness. The time for waiting in the shadow is officially over, and the hour of your ultimate liberation has finally arrived. You have endured the cold prison nights, you have survived the bitter sting of betrayal, and you have conquered the silent monsters of your own deep doubt. Every single drop of sweat you shed in the dark mud was not a waste of your precious life. It was a holy investment in an unbreakable foundation that is now fully prepared to hold the massive weight of your glorious future. The shackles of your past are breaking into pieces right now because your spirit has grown too large, too heavy, and too powerful to be held by any human cage. Look back at the long road you have traveled and realize that every single trap was actually a divine setup to lift you higher. The brothers who threw you into the deep pit were just the ignition switch for your beautiful destiny. The master who falsely accused you was just the gatekeeper who led you to the prison where your ultimate gifts could be refined. Even the man who forgot your name for 2 long years was just keeping you hidden until the exact moment when the king would need your unique wisdom. Absolutely nothing has been lost, nothing has been stolen, and nothing was ever an accident. You are standing right on the edge of total victory. Today, you must release all your heavy burdens and deposit your absolute faith into the hands of the ultimate creator of the stars. You are no longer fighting this war with your own weak human muscles or your limited mind. You are locking your frequency into the highest power in the universe, and that means failure is no longer a mathematical possibility for your life. Stand up straight, open your chest, and breathe in the fresh air of absolute freedom that who's rushing into your soul. You are officially emancipated from the heavy debt of your past mistakes and the small expectations of ordinary people who never believed in your vision. Let the whole world hear your silent declaration of war against mediocrity and fear. You are no longer asking for permission to be great, and you are no longer waiting for a lucky break to change your bank account. You are the break. You are the storm that is about to disrupt the entire landscape of your industry and inspire everyone who ever witnessed your long struggle. The energy that has been compressed inside your heart for years is now bursting through the thick surface like an erupting volcano. Every single door that was once slammed in your face is flying open right now by the sheer force of your unwavering belief. Pharaoh is waking up from his confusing dream. The chariots are being prepared in the courtyard, and the royal robes are being tailored specifically for your shoulders. You will step out of the dark hole today, not as a helpless beggar begging for crumbs, but as a wise ruler who holds the keys to the entire nation. Your transformation will be so sudden, so massive, and so complete that it will leave your critics frozen in absolute shock and wonder. They will realize that the man they tried to bury in the dirt was actually a divine seed that was destined to inherit the whole kingdom. Raise your voice in your heart and shout your gratitude into the heavens, because the victory is already bought and paid for. The dark days of isolation have completed their holy work, and your character is now as hard as a diamond and as pure as refined gold. No weapon formed against you will ever prosper, no lie told about you will ever stick, and no human barrier can ever block the massive flood of abundance that is coming. You are the chosen one for this specific mission, and you are fully equipped to conquer every single giant that dares to stand in your way. Your season of absolute dominion starts right now. Walk forward into the bright light with the total confidence of a king who already knows the final score of the battle. The silence is broken, the shadow is gone, and the glory of your true identity is about to shine across the entire earth. Trust the fire that is burning in your chest, accept the mantle of your heavy responsibility, and step onto your royal throne with absolute pride. You have paid the full price in the secret spaces, and now it is time for the universe to reward you openly before the eyes of all mankind. Your liberation is here, your destiny is set, and your victory is absolute. You must understand that the deepest waters of the ocean are always the most silent. The shallow waves near the shore crash loudly against the rocks, making a massive noise that can be heard from miles away. They throw up cheap white foam and attract the attention of every casual tourist walking along the beach. But those loud waves have absolutely no real power because they are easily broken and scattered by a single gust of ordinary wind. True majesty resides thousands of feet below the surface, in the absolute stillness where the pressure is immense and the gravity is total. The quiet depths hold the real weight of the planet, moving entire continents without ever making a single sound. When you live your life in a state of constant loud noise, you are living as a shallow wave. You are wasting your precious spiritual authority on empty words, social media arguments, and a desperate desire to prove your worth to ordinary minds. Every single time you scream your plans to the world, you are actually revealing your deep internal insecurity. You are begging for external validation because you do not possess the internal certainty to stand alone in the dark. Silence is the ultimate display of absolute power because it proves that you do not need the applause of men to know who you are. It shows that you answer to a much higher authority than public opinion. Think about the raw energy of a massive thunderbolt splitting the night sky into two halves. The world always fears the loud sound of the thunder that echoes across the mountains after the strike occurs. They cover their ears and hide in their houses because the noise is terrifying to their human senses. But the wise person knows that the thunder is completely harmless because it is just an empty acoustic echo of the past. The real power belonged to the silent flash of lightning that traveled through the atmosphere at the speed of light a few seconds earlier. The lightning did its lethal work in absolute silence before the world even realized what happened. You must become the silent lightning in a world that is completely obsessed with the empty noise of thunder. Let your competitors waste their breath bragging about their tiny achievements and their short-term gains on a digital screen. Let them believe that they are winning the race just because they are making the most noise in the room right now. Your complete silence will create a deep sense of psychological discomfort within their souls because they cannot read your next move. They cannot prepare a defense against an enemy whose strategy is completely hidden in the shadows. Your quiet focus is a deadly weapon that will destroy their arrogance. The language of the ultimate creator of the universe is not found in the loud wind, the violent earthquake, or the blazing fire. He speaks in a still, small voice that can only be perceived when you shut out the chaos of the physical world. When you master the art of internal silence, you are tuning your mind to the exact frequency of divine wisdom and limitless creation. You receive insights that the loud crowd can never access because their mental channels are clogged with cheap digital garbage. Silence allows you to see the hidden truth behind every complex problem and grants you an unbreakable calm during the storm. True maturity is reached when you no longer feel the burning urge to correct every single person who misunderstands your life choices. You let them think whatever they want about your quiet schedule, your lonely habits, and your lack of surface entertainment. You realize that their opinions are completely worthless currency that cannot buy a single ounce of real success or internal peace. Joseph did not argue with the prisoners or try to convince the jailers that he was destined to rule over Egypt. He held his tongue, protected his sacred energy, and let the silent growth of his character do the heavy lifting. Step back into the deep quiet of your own soul today and lock the door against the frantic demands of modern society. Stop feeding the monsters of distraction that want to steal your focus and keep your potential buried in a shallow grave. Reclaim your absolute sovereignty by remaining silent in the face of provocation and completely invisible during your season of intense preparation. The power that is brewing within your stillness is getting heavier and more potent with every single quiet day that passes. Trust the silence, master your internal environment, and prepare to release a shockwave that will shake the entire earth. The deep foundation has been fully poured. The hidden blocks have been completely crushed, and the silent lightning is now ready to strike the earth. Every single sign indicates that your long season of waiting in the shadow is officially coming to a grand conclusion today. You can feel the intense shift in the atmosphere around you, and you can hear the quiet crackle of the massive breakthrough that has already begun. You are no longer the same weak person who entered the dark prison of isolation many months ago. You have been completely forged into a weapon of absolute power, deep wisdom, and unbreakable internal certainty. The stage is set for your sudden elevation, and the ultimate architect of the universe is already moving the pieces into their perfect positions. You do not need to worry about how the doors will open or who will remember your name when the critical moment arrives. Your only responsibility is to stand firm in your high frequency, keep your focus locked on the vision, and walk forward without a single trace of fear. The wealth, the opportunities, and the royal robes are rushing toward you at the speed of light right now. You have survived the severe test of the dark soil, and now it is your absolute right to inherit the sun. If you can feel the raw truth of this message burning deep in your chest today, do not let this sacred energy fade away into the casual noise of the world. You must seal this divine contract with your own words right now to activate the power of your spoken declaration. Leave a comment below this video and type the words, "My breakthrough has officially begun," to lock your mind into this high frequency of absolute victory. Let the universe and your own subconscious mind know that you are fully ready to step out of the shadows and claim your royal throne. Your words are the final concrete layer of your new reality. This is not an ordinary video that you stumbled across by a random accident on a digital screen today. This was a direct appointment with your true destiny, designed to wake you up from your heavy sleep and call you out of the dark pit. Subscribe to this channel right now to stay connected to this powerful stream of absolute truth and deep mental transformation. Join this elite community of silent builders who refuse to compromise with mediocrity and choose to execute their goals with lethal precision. Share this exact message with one person you know who is currently struggling in the quiet shadows of their own life. By sharing this light, you are proving to the universe that you are already operating from a place of true abundance and leadership. You are becoming a beacon of hope for others, just like Joseph was for the prisoners who were lost in their own dark confusion. Stop looking back at the pain of your past and start looking forward to the immense glory of your future territory. The chariots are waiting for you in the courtyard, and your name is being called by the king this very second. Wash your face, change your clothes, and prepare to step into the bright light of your ultimate dominion. You are the master builder, you are the chosen one, and your victory is a mathematical certainty that no human force can ever delay again. Thank you for watching this message, and thank you for having the rare courage to stay in the silence until your foundation was fully complete. Keep your head high, protect your internal alignment with an iron fist, and let your daily discipline do the talking from this moment forward. The shadow is gone, the prison doors are wide open, and your beautiful tower is about to rise before the eyes of all mankind. Walk into your destiny with absolute pride. As you close this video and step back into the rhythm of your daily life, do not carry the old heavy weights with you any longer. Leave the anxiety, the painful memories of betrayal, and the toxic opinions of ordinary people right here in the quiet shadows of the past. You have handed over the blueprint of your future into the hands of the ultimate creator, and your only job now is to execute your daily duties with total, absolute excellence. The universe is already working overtime to organize the details, align the perfect timing, and bring the right partners into your world. You can rest your mind tonight knowing that your destiny is secure. You are no longer a lonely wanderer fighting a solitary war in a dark room where no one can hear your silent cries. You are part of a massive global family of silent builders, a deep community of high-frequency souls who are all digging their foundations at the exact same time. Look at the comment section below and read the raw testimonies of your brothers and sisters who are standing right beside you in this heavy labor. They are facing the exact same doubts, overcoming the same hidden blocks, and pouring the same solid concrete for their future fortresses. You are deeply connected to a powerful network of unstoppable human wills. Reach out to someone in the comments today who looks like they are struggling to hold up their heavy iron bars. Leave them a word of genuine encouragement. Share a piece of your own hard-earned wisdom and let them know that they are not invisible in the dark. When you lift another person up into the light, you are naturally raising your own internal frequency to the level of true spiritual kingship. True wealth is not about how much money you can hoard for yourself in a private bank account. It is about how much value you can add to the lives of the people who are traveling along the road with you. Let us form an unbreakable circle of faith that refuses to let a single member fall behind or give up on their massive dreams. We will watch each other rise from the deep prisons of isolation to the highest palaces of total dominion over our respective industries. The world will look at our sudden transformation with absolute shock, but we will know the secret price that was fully paid in the quiet spaces. We will remember the long nights, the lonely tears, and the relentless daily discipline that forged our characters into solid diamonds. Our collective victory will be a monument to the power of silence. Go forth today with your chin held high, your shoulders back, and a quiet smile sitting confidently on your face. Do not talk about your plans to the people who are committed to misunderstanding your intense dedication and your unique lifestyle. Let them gossip, let them speculate, and let them enjoy their shallow surface pleasures while you continue your deep underground work. The foundation is complete, the walls are beginning to rise, and the beautiful glass tower of your destiny will soon be visible to the entire world. You have won the war in the secret place, and now the harvest is ready. The ultimate architect of the universe has already stamped his seal of approval upon your name, and no human force can ever erase that divine mark. Keep your connection to the highest frequency clear of digital noise. Protect your sacred peace at all costs, and trust the process until the very end. The dark soil has completed its necessary work. The seeds are bursting open, and your season of absolute abundance is breaking through the surface right now. Thank you for your deep attention. Thank you for your iron faith, and may your glorious victory echo through the halls of eternity.